Yo, what is good, people of Earth? It's been a while. Uh, anyway, so I wanted to talk about the Democrat strategy and the Democrat pattern and how that relates to everything that you see, right? So the Democrats market themselves a certain way, right? Like they're like this wholesome, inclusive, you know, ethical, blah blah blah, whatever they want to call themselves, because they say things like the like their opponents are not those things. Like when they say they're wholesome, like they're basically implying that everybody that's not a Democrat is not wholesome. You know, like that's their way, right? But when it comes to like how they present themselves, it's all lies, right? It's all lies, and that's the pattern through everything. But in order to get to those lies, what they do is they reframe, they redefine, they change the meanings of things and words and terms and things like that. And then they argue on the premise that they create an argument where you think it's one thing, but it's actually something else, because they've changed the meaning of all those things. And now all you have left is mental gymnastics that you're playing with yourself. Like, what? Like some of the stuff that they say, look at the most obvious stuff, right? And try and take that as the example, like with the transgender stuff, like, right? You can't call yourself a woman just because I want to call myself a woman, right? And that's as deep as it is, right? Like, people are like, oh, well, no, if you feel that way, gender's a construct, yada, yada. What? No, we all have an agreement, okay? We have an agreement in society that we're going to be civil, and we're going to play fair, and we're not going to do this kind of crap, right? We're going to call a spade, and we're going to be done with it. The Democrats do everything this way. And I'm not saying I'm a Republican. I'm not saying I'm anything or other. I'm not saying that. So don't, in the comments or whatever, it has nothing to do with me. I'm pointing out the Democrats. So if you do the he said, she said, or the whatchamacallit, the distraction, the ad hominem, whatever, where you're just not looking at the issue for what it is and trying to figure out how to fix the issue. You got to make it about somebody's race or creed or their color or their height or whatever, or their fucking whatever it is. In my opinion, that's you've already lost the argument. You're not really playing a sound game here. If you're trying to win on like my mindset, these people are not doing a good job. Anyway, hope that makes sense. In my head, it kind of makes sense, sort of. But anyway, so there's a pattern the Democrats operate under. This pattern is all about fraud and fakeness. So let's talk about the most fraud, fake crap you can ever think of, which is political correctness. Right? What is political correctness if you break it down? Okay, it's me saying nice things instead of saying bad things, but those nice things still mean bad things, and they still are very damning. Thing is that it takes a couple seconds of thought, like extra thought, to like really figure that out. So now I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Did you just? Oh, you did. But a lot of people just cash out before they get to those third or fourth thoughts, right? Before they connect the dots, really. So basically, instead of like the Democrats, they'll give you, instead of giving you like a typed out sheet of paper that says exactly what they want, they will give you a connect the dots puzzle, and then you have to like do all the math and everything. You have to connect everything correctly, and then you'll be able to read the message. You have to decode it. Everything's decoded, right? Because everything is encrypted. So this is how they think. This is what political correctness is. It's really just encrypted language that happens in real time in the software in our mind, right? Yeah, there's lots of levels to this shit, right? Analogy's got lots of levels to it, baby. Anyway, so when they talk to you, when these Democrats, they're talking in encrypted code already, and they encrypt their ideas even further, like, so, you know, it's absolutely insane, actually, if you think about what the mental gymnastics that's required to kind of decode all the things that they say. You know, it's the talk out of both sides of your mouth kind of thing. Everything is double speak, right? Like George Orwell said in 1984. It's just like they just add layers and levels to break down what the fuck they're trying to get at, right? So then later on, the sound bites, you know, the recordings, what people are talking about in you know, in theories and stuff like this, it's all objectified at that point. It's all like, oh, I don't know. I mean, now we have to really kind of find the context here. Like, we need like 12 sources and 14 other, you know, like contextual cues, and we need just like a lot more information to like break down what was simply being said, which is like, I don't like bad guys, you know, like, right? Nobody likes bad guys, right? But not everybody's a Nazi, right? You know, like immigration and stuff, right? That's like immigration. If you let a lot of immigrants into the country, who takes care of them? The American people. But here's the thing that a lot of Americans are having gripe with is like, what about me? Like, what? I don't own a home, you know, like I don't have all the things, like I don't even have health care, you know, like, but illegals are just walking in, getting it because the Democrats want their votes so bad that they're willing to sell me out so that they can get more voters, because they know it's bad. It's a dead argument with me. I will never vote for these evil, soulless, blood-sucking vampire people who don't really deserve to have a place in politics other than to show you what not to do, to show you how evil looks. That's the only place that they really take that's beneficial. I mean, you could argue anything you want, but look at these people when they vote blue no matter who, right? They're just brain dead. Look, if you're a Democrat and you vote blue no matter who, you're brain dead. You really are. Because you think that for some reason, like, by continuing to vote for this party, which is the party of lies and deceit, that you're going to get what you want, right? They're lying to you. You know they're lying, but you're still voting for them just so that you can protect the sanctity of whatever brainwashed notions you have. Because it's easier to fool someone than to show somebody that they've been fooled, right? I mean, really, the Democrat playbook is fakeness. It's phony. It's scam after scam after scam. Look at the election right now in California. At the beginning of the vote, right, on the night for votes to be counted, you know, on the deadline, right, Spencer Pratt was ahead, like 30-something thousand votes. So much so that Nithya Raman was like, yo, I'm done. There's no way I'm going to. So she conceded by the weekend. It took, it takes over 7 days or whatever to get to a point where they got enough votes, right? But what they've done is they've just allowed all these after votes to happen, right? Like vote after vote. Like, yo, we're already done voting. Like, why are votes still coming in? Like, the deadline was that day, and yet they're still taking votes today. Like, right? They're still counting votes. But what they're doing is they're counting votes until they get enough votes for them to win. The way that works is they have a system where instead of throwing out broken votes, like votes where, like, instead of votes that are invalid, right? They save those votes. Well, what do you think they do with those votes afterwards? They just scribble in what they want, and then they submit them later on. And they do this process only as they need it, right? So if they need 30,000 votes, they're going to do that until they get 30,000 votes. Or until some other magic shipment comes in. The second they get what they want, they can stop counting. Because they win. But, like, how? How are you not voting? Like, how does the deadline matter then? There's no deadline then. Like, yeah, sure, the votes have to be in to count, but they're still adding votes to the system. So that proves that the deadline is not static. It's just whatever the fuck they want it to be until they get the results that they favor. That's what's really happening here, guys. And if you don't see it, like, I'm a bartender slash DJ slash, like, you know, like, Epicurean type of guy, right? Like, I'm not in charge of the government, you know? I'm not like a politician or anything that requires, you know, like a Harvard graduation or ceremony in my past or something like that. Like, I'm just a regular guy calling this shit out, and it's fucking plain to see. It's plain to see. I don't have a law degree. I don't have a I didn't you know, go to political science degree or anything like that. Like, no, none of that happened. All I'm doing is just literally using the same discernment that I need to navigate the regular world this way. I'm just adapting it, right? I'm in the car driving, right? If I'm driving, I have to adapt to the road ahead of me. There's cars around me, there's cars behind me. I'm literally adapting as I go. And that's great. So why can't I use that same level of logic and thinking to discern what's happening here? I mean, I can see the car in front of me just like I can see the votes being counted, like, you know, like, right? We can see the fraud happening. We see the Somalian fraud, right? But they try to reframe it as like, oh, no, you're just racist people. You're all just racist against Somalians. What do Somalians do to you, right? Well, you stole $140 million for of money that should have been for feeding kids, right? $2 billion worth of like fraud is coming out of Minnesota, right? That's what we're upset about. We don't care who's doing it. It doesn't matter if it's more Americans doing it, right? You're calling yourselves Americans, right? In a lot of these places, right? Because that gives you the favoritism, right? That gives you the Medicaid and the Medi-Cal and all these other things, right? So, like, there's no illegals here, right? Everybody's just American citizens the second you're here, right? Like, you're just here, so you're American, right? That's the idea? Well, no, it's not. It's absolutely ridiculous, okay? So, anyway, if you use the same ideas, the same logic that you have that gets you to work and works you through the day, you can use that same tool, that same toolkit to understand what's really happening here. And you don't have to be a Democrat or a demon rat or any of these people to really notice the truth. It's just that these people have a dogma towards this. These people are they're in a cult. And, you know, it's funny because they'll say that if you voted for Donald Trump, you're a Donald Trump cult. You know, you're a MAGA cult, you're a cult, you know, yada, yada, yada. That's the truth is the opposite, because that's a projection. In my opinion, that's just projection. That's people projecting. Anyway, so the pattern here is with the election, right? It's they've created a situation where the only checks and balances are them, right? They decide what that political correct term is, right? They decide whether it's good or bad, right? They decide whether or not, you know, this law affects you or not. They decide all of this stuff because you're too dumb to know what it is. All you do is vote blue, no matter who, because 5 of those letters rhyme. You know, like 3 of those 10 words rhyme. There's a cadence to it. It's like singing a song. It's like chanting a fucking chant, a sea chanty. But regular people are roped in on this shit. Like you think. Dumb people exist at the top of the hierarchies. Because it doesn't take much to be above somebody in a capitalist society. All you have to do really is earn more money than somebody else. And there's lots of ways to cheat and scam your way to have more money than other people. So it doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you more virtuous. It doesn't make you anything other than a scamming, evil shithead, right? So I think that we should reframe all of that stuff and really reframe the Democrats for what they really are. They are a scammer. They are evil. They are malicious. They are sociopathic. The self-awareness of your average Democrat, blue-haired, weirdo pixie is very low. And all you have to do is let people talk, right? This Carmelo Anthony stuff, right? Where they literally had protesters, right? These war tribe Africans who happen to be American are out there saying like, yo, what? Well, he should have killed fucking the brother too. Like his twin brother should have died, Austin Metcalf, and his brothers should have been killed too, just because of why? Why? Because the results, the verdict of Carmelo is going to be guilty. The kid murdered the other kid in cold fucking blood, unprovoked. Really, I mean, you could say that him being pushed or being told was like him being intent. No, why did you bring the knife to this track meet in the first place? Why did you have your hands ready to fucking fight? Why were you ready for that? That's what's the problem. People are too dumb. Your IQ is way too low for you to have any political say. And yet we still take your vote. Because as long as you're actually American, that matters. They drive the Overton window as far fucking to the left or whatever it is as humanly possible. And they create these scenarios where, look, if you follow that, you lose your morality. You lose your virtue. You lose all of these quote unquote things that that are important, right? The DEI perspective is all about morality and equality and choosing a gender on the fly. I mean, that's basically what you get with these fucking asshats. These people are mentally deranged sociopaths. If you look up the term in the dictionary, what is a sociopath, you'll see that blue-haired person who's got nose ring theory going through their fucking mind. Like, it's like the piercings pierce their brain too. I think all that lead and metal that's in their piercings has actually messed them up. It's created fat, obese people who all have high A1C counts. They're all, everybody's diabetic, schizophrenic, peanut allergied, fucking, I don't know. But this is all I wanted to say today. Okay, guys? The pattern is there. The pattern is that the Democrats take what they reframe it to what they want you to think so that it helps them sell their story. And now, when that story is told, there's objection. They make you feel morally obligated to submit to their evil, unvirtuous ways. That's why they spin it. They're spinsters. That's why when they talk, that's why their political correctness is saying things in a loving sounding way. But it's actually way worse. I'd rather you tell me that my breath smells than you tell everybody around me that, oh, this is the new, whatever. I don't know if that made sense, but there's an analogy there to be made somewhere. You can figure it out. But I'm out. I gotta go. All right. I'm almost at work to slang my drinks and my bartending magic and be my jovial self. All right. But it doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much for you to use your own logic center, the same one that gets you to work every day, to look at the fucking facts in front of you and weigh them as a fucking general person, right? It's funny because on the last thing I gotta say, it's funny because at the one hand, everybody can vote. The Democrats are like, oh, no one's illegal. You're not illegal. Seeking asylum is not illegal. It is not a crime. Yeah, well, if you don't do it the proper way, and if you come here illegally, it is a crime because that is the crime. That is the crime. It is the stupidest fucking moron shit I've ever heard to argue any other way. But that's what the Democrats do. They hide behind these rhetoric and they build these premises and these constructs, right? And they argue with all their finger gestures and all their tight responses. Everything is perfectly manufactured, and I'm sick of it. And I think you are too. Even if you're a Democrat, on the inside, you're like, you know what? This guy's fucking preaching facts, brother. Fucking facts. But I can't say that out loud because my Democrat wife with the blue hair and the nose ring he was talking about is gonna murder me in my fucking sleep or chop my fucking dick off and throw it in the fucking blender so they can't reattach it. I don't know. This guy's onto something. He really is. And he's driving too, you know? I don't know. And he's only a bartender, right? He's only a bartender. So why does his opinion matter? Because I'm a voter, right? See, that's the thing. That's the contradiction that you'll get to. Is that, like, look, everybody's equal, right? Except when they go against us, they're not equal anymore, you know? That's the idea. Anyway, love you. Love your friends, love your family, take care of your neighbors, and I'll talk to you soon.